Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about some of the miracle stories that are happening right here in our own city, in our own state, every day. My name is Tony Kausha, and the title of our show is Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. Please note, this show is not about religion, and we're not trying to change anyone's religion, and we're not trying to get you to join any religion. It's just about miracle stories. I don't know of any religion on the planet that doesn't talk about miracles. That's why religions begin, because they have something that's telling them there's really a God. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to just talk about miracles and leave the decisions about all that up to you. So we don't care what religion you are. We just want to talk about miracles. If you are an atheist, I think you'll enjoy the program as well, although I can't guarantee you'll remain an atheist very long after you hear many convincing stories, coincidence kinds of stories about miracles. You can email me your own stories if you wish. We'll try to use all we can on the show. I can't guarantee we will, depending on volume and time, but you're welcome to send your stories on to us, and we will mention them when we can. You can send them to the following email address. But please notice that if we do use your story, we won't mention your name. We'll keep you anonymous. And we suggest that in your story, when you send it to us, don't use your correct name. That way anyone listening will not be able to figure out that it was you that sent the story in. The email address you can send your stories to is very easy to remember. It consists of 2 words and 3 numbers. The first word is Tony, spelled Tony, and the second word is and, spelled A-N-D, and the numbers are 777. So once again, the name is Tony and 777 at AOL.com. Well, let us begin. This is week number 55, and I'm really excited today because I'm inspired to share with you something I've been noticing. I've been evangelizing and preaching for about 50 years now, and I've never seen so many people delivering the same message consistently. Like the last 4 weeks, and the coronavirus is probably having some effect on people because the coronavirus is getting a lot of people to pray who never prayed before. But I got to tell you, in the last 4 weeks, I've noticed I listen to the Protestant television station. I listen to the Catholic television station. There's some wonderful preachers and speakers on both the Protestant and the Catholics. If you're not watching television and Protestants and Catholics, I'll tell you the networks are TBN. The television network is for the Protestants. It's T for Trinity, B for Broadcasting, N for Network. And the Catholic television network is EWTN. That's Eternal Word Television Network, EWTN TV Network. So again, TBN is Protestant, and EWTV is the Catholic station network. But I watched both of them often during the week, and I get wonderful input from both Protestant and Catholic preachers. All kinds of Protestants, Baptists and Lutherans, Calvinists, etc. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of Protestant, different denominations on TBN. And the message they're all delivering is talk to God, listen to God, and do what God tells you. So it's like all over the world, all these preachers and ministers, I've never seen this message going out so clearly. Over the last 50 years, I've seen ministers alluding to it and suggesting it in a naive way, a very timid way. But it's not like that now. The last 4 weeks, these ministers are right in your face telling you every single person on the planet should be talking to God and listening to God and doing what God tells you. And I'm so excited and happy about that because Luke 10:42 and Luke 10:24 both tell you that's what the Bible says we should be doing. And Jeremiah chapter 23 and chapter 7 also 7:23 in Jeremiah, 23:35 in Jeremiah, and 33:3 in Jeremiah, they all say, talk to God, listen to God, do what he tells you. So I'm very excited today with that message. In fact, one of my coincidence miracles this week happened when I tuned in to watch EWTN, the Catholic television network. I tune in at supper time. When I get my supper ready, I sit down and I tune into that network. And the last two nights when I tuned in, not that I planned on it necessarily for that time, but when I did tune in, both nights the same thing was happening. During the Masses, during the Holy Masses on EWTN, when they broadcast the Masses, there's a period at the end of the Masses where they put up an announcement, a script for you to read, and it allows people who are at home, who cannot get to Mass, who do not receive the Holy Eucharist, they can't get to Mass for whatever reason. Now in the coronavirus, there's a lot of reasons why people can't get to Mass. But the network puts up a narrative for you to read, and what it does is it allows you in your prayer to ask God to give you the same effect, saying, dear God, I cannot be present at the Mass, but I would like to receive spiritually in my soul the same blessings and graces of the people who are consuming the Holy Eucharist, the Holy Bread. So both nights when I tuned in, that message flashed up. It was precisely to the second, and that's a great coincidence miracle for me, because it was God getting my attention that here I was at home and not at Mass, and I could ask God to give me the same blessing of being at Mass on those 2 days. So I share that with you because if you tune into a Mass being said and you're watching a Mass on television and you can't get to Mass because of the COVID virus or whatever's going on in your life, maybe you're ill and you're shut in, and if you're watching the Mass, you can ask God to give you the reception of the Holy Eucharist spiritually in your soul because you can't make it. And by the way, that's only when you cannot make it to Mass, because the proper way is to get there for yourself and receive the Eucharist yourself. My next coincidence miracle was I was inspired this week by Jesus. He inspired me to go onto my website and go through the website as if I was a viewer, as if I was a first-time visitor, because the website's been created over the last 4 years, and we've put a lot of things in there, and we've changed a lot of things. It's really all-inclusive. If you go to our webpage, you'll see there's many free offerings and many things. So I was inspired to go there and look as a viewer and just see the reactions I would get as a viewer. And lo and behold, I found an error which was created only in the last couple of days. So I got inspired to catch an error which just happened, and I wouldn't have known about it if I wasn't inspired to go check, because I know what's on the webpage, so I don't go there and listen to it myself. But because I was inspired to go, Jesus got me to catch an error. Someone went in and made some changes which disagrees with what I've been telling people on my weekly radio shows, so I got them to fix it. And I want to share that with you. That's, again, do what Jesus tells you to do what God tells you to do, and you start catching things, errors. This is very reminiscent with some of the miracles in my 2 books, where when I was consulting with clients, I saved them a lot of money. One particular case, I saved a client $500,000 just by doing what Jesus said to do on a particular day. So if you're running a business, you can become more profitable if you're asking God what to do and doing what he's telling you to do. Your business will become more profitable as well. The next coincidence miracle, you might remember last week I shared with you that I posted on Facebook and LinkedIn, and when I got done, twice in that particular week and 6 times year to date, I wound up with the exact number of keystrokes, exactly to the last keystroke of the limit on Facebook and LinkedIn. Those are marvelous miracles. Well, the same thing happened again this past week. I was inspired by Jesus to post on LinkedIn, Facebook again, and now it happened twice this week. I wound up typing the message Jesus gave me to type, and I came out precisely to the number of keystrokes allowed again. Another coincidence miracle this week was exactly after I finished posting something on Facebook about another posting Jesus inspired me to put there about how we should all be talking to God, listening to God all day long, doing what He's telling us. And I posted it. As soon as I posted it, I got a message from one of my children. My daughter sent me a Facebook message, and she had a link attached for a preacher, a Protestant preacher, who was in his car driving, and he created a 10-minute video where he was telling everybody about, in his life, something like the last 25 years, how he's found that if you ask God what to do and you do what He tells you to do, you wind up experiencing miracles all day long. So I got an instant confirmation again, and I know I've been telling you this over the last 40 weeks, but I want to stress it again, that that's the message that God is trying to get out there for everybody. Listen to Him and do what He tells you to do, and your life becomes a wonderful life. As you know, we don't preach religions on this radio show. Our whole purpose here is to help people be mindful of God, think about God, talk to God, listen to God, do what He tells you to do, and He'll take it from there. So as soon as we make people a friend of God, that's all they have, that's all they need, really. Just become God's friend. You become a better friend every day. But there are times when I bump into things in different religions that's helping people to become a friend of God. So I want to share one of those with you now. I'm not preaching religion now, but there are religions who say the Rosary. And it's not just Catholics. You don't have to be a Catholic to say the Rosary. The Rosary is, you can Google it, look up, Google Holy Rosary, and they'll tell you the steps to follow, etc., and the blessings. So I'm just going to give you a very simple summary of things. For example, Martin Luther King Jr. Also wrote a letter to someone, and you can Google this. Google Martin Luther King Rosary, and you'll see the letter. They actually show you a picture of his signed letter where he told someone that the Rosary has turned out to be very helpful. Now, he didn't say a lot about what it did, whether it was helpful to him or whatever, but he's a Baptist. He's not a Catholic, Martin Luther King Jr., and he was a Baptist. And so that's why I'm sharing with you the Rosary, not as a denomination. I'm not preaching religion. Look it up on your own. Google Holy Rosary, and you'll see the steps, etc. The other thing you can Google is the 12 promises of the Rosary. Now, whether you believe it or not, the story is that sometime around 1208, in the 1200s, precisely 1208, the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to St. Dominic, a priest, and explained to him how she wanted the Rosary said and how to do it, etc. Now, you don't have to believe that. That's not important. What's important is if you say the Rosary, you'll start getting some blessings. So I encourage you to Google 15 Promises of the Rosary and Google Martin Luther King Jr. Rosary. And one other thing is, if you notice the statues of saints, we've had 10,000 saints in the last 2,000 years, and many of the statues show the saints with rosaries hanging from their belts, indicating they said the daily rosary, and they were getting all of these promises and miracles in their life. Okay, I think you'll be impressed if you Google the Holy Rosary. And also remember to Google our webpage, which is at wcatradio.com/miracles/ one more time, WCAT, that's WCAT, wcatradio.com/miracles/. And our webpage gives you a wealth of information on many things and a lot of things for free. One more time, wcatradio.com/miracles/. All right, God bless you all. Remember to keep talking to God every day and do what He inspires you to do. You'll see miracles, I'm sure of that. And do Google the Holy Rosary and do Google our webpage. God bless you all. I'll talk to you next week.